All right, well, we are at the end of the episode, but as always, oh wait, Zero's not here, so I don't have a question for him. I'll have a question for myself. Yeah, there we go. Here is my question that I essentially saw on on Twitter specifically. It turned out, if for those of you, let me get into this. A long time ago, I was a big fan of Kevin Smith. Kevin Smith was very inspirational. I'm from New Jersey, and I fell in love. I really, really liked his film Chasing Amy when it came out. I wasn't so much of a fan of Mallrats. Mallrats was the first one I saw of his, and I did not like it. And I thought Clerks was okay. But then when I saw Chasing Amy, I thought, okay, this guy's got some serious talent as a writer. Like, he's very talented. And since then, when I learned about him and his story and him being from New Jersey and everything, he became somewhat of an inspiration. And I was like, wow, if this guy can do it without a high school diploma, and he's from places that I'm aware of, that I know of, that's inspirational. That's great. I would love to follow this guy. And I did for a long time. Like, he did a bunch of other films after Chasing Amy. He did Dogma, which I think was his most controversial. He did a very meta movie called Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, and because I was a fan of his movies, I really liked Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. He also did the comedy Zack and Miri Made a Porno, and I think that's his funniest film. But as of recently, he has gone downhill. He went through a horror phase, and me not being a horror fan kind of turned me off. And I saw his films, and I didn't like them at all. So there's that. And then he did Jay and Silent Bob Reboot, and that was depressing to watch. I didn't laugh once in that movie. It was horrible. I don't know how I sat through it. I think maybe it was just the younger me who was saying, maybe it will get good, maybe it will get better, but it didn't, and it was terrible. And Clerks 3 is getting okay reviews. I think fans of his are enjoying it, but I'm skeptical, so I'm going to watch Clerks 3 and see when that comes out on Blu-ray and see how that is. But a story came about involving Dogma. Dogma has a strange story in that basically you can't buy it or watch it anywhere. It is unavailable on Blu-ray. It's not available on 4K. No streaming site is streaming it right now. And it turns out it's because that the Weinsteins own the movie. It came out this week that the Weinsteins are asking for $5 million to sell the rights to Dogma. Okay? $5 million for a movie that, if I recall correctly, when it came out in theaters, I think it made a little bit more than that. Like, it didn't make a lot of money. I remember being in the theater, seeing that movie. It was packed, but I was also in Jersey when that happened, so that's why. So let me get the opening weekend was $8 million. Gross worldwide was $31 million at a $10 million budget. So that he actually made his money back and some. So okay, which I gotta tell you is rare for a Kevin Smith film. His films make no money essentially, but to ask for $5 million for Dogma. The question I would have that I guess a lot of people are asking is, would you, if you could, pay $5 million to get Dogma back? And do you think anyone would do it? If I had the money, no. I don't think I would. Dogma is an interesting film. It's a good film. But it really highlights the directorial problems of Kevin Smith. His inability to actually create a visually interesting film, even though writing-wise he had an interesting film that he was doing. it is a super flawed film. I like Dogma, but it is very flawed. And the problem now with Kevin Smith's brand of comedy right now is unless you are of the time at which it was popular, or of the time at which that it was set, like if you can transport yourself and connect yourself to that, like for nostalgic reasons, I don't see many people enjoying Dogma and Kevin Smith films. So if I were to say, as a pure business decision, $5 million for Dogma is steep, because I don't think I'd get that money back, and that would be my catalyst of saying, would I pay for this license? Because I would get that back tenfold. I wouldn't get that back. That would be, to me, in my opinion, I don't think anybody, any production house, any studio, any label is going to purchase Dogma, especially not for $5 million. $1 million maybe, pushing it $2 million, but $5 million, no, I don't think so, because they wouldn't get their money back. They would sell the DVD, the Blu-ray in 4K. They would spruce it up. They'd have to do a little bit of marketing, but not much. And Kevin Smith is good in his podcast to market himself. That's a strength he has. But you're talking about a small audience that's getting smaller by the day. And maybe you'd be able to get some people who were former fans going, oh, that's when Kevin Smith was good. Yeah, I guess I'll go ahead and watch that. I'll go ahead and plunk $40 for a 4K and then sit down and realize, oh, this looks like shit. Like, I don't see anybody purchasing that for a business decision unless this situation happens. This would have to be a favor for favor kind of transaction. As in, a studio would have to do a favor for Smith, and then Smith would have to do a favor in return for the studio. So let's say, I don't know, let's go wild. Let's say, let's do something stupid. Let's say that Warner Brothers Discovery says, you know what, we'll pay $5 million for it if Smith, we'll do this favor for you if you make a movie about a lesser-known DC property. Now, would they do that? No, they would not do that. They would not give Kevin Smith that type of property to do as a movie. That would be, I think, a bad idea. But that is what it would essentially take for Smith to get Dogma back. Unfortunately, and this sucks. I will admit, this is not, I don't like this. I don't like that it was going to come to this specifically, that no one's going to be able to watch a movie that people are fans of. People are fans of these movies, and it sucks when this happens. But the sad part is that if they're not going to get the money back for it, no one's going to buy it. And it's unfortunate, but it's the case, unfortunately. And this will be one of these movies that will be stuck in infinite limbo until maybe someone buys the Weinstein Company. And that's it. That's it. Like, and there are other films that the Weinstein Company has that are in this kind of limbo, that people probably want to watch them again, but are unable to because they are literally stuck because it's in the Weinstein Company, and the Weinstein Company is such a toxic brand that no one even wants to touch it. And until maybe Harvey Weinstein dies and Bob Weinstein sells it at a discount. Like, that's, I think, the only way that this happens. And I honestly don't foresee that happening anytime soon. I would say maybe in 10 years, if Like, if that, like, in 10 years, I would say maybe if Bob Weinstein needs the money, or he's just done with the business and wants to sell all of his assets, then I could see possibly that he would do that and sell all the assets, and then maybe someone would then turn around and go, "Oh, look at Dogma. Oh, there's kind of this fan base here that might enjoy watching this. Why don't we re-release that and see what happens, and do a bare bones release and see what happens from there?" But yeah, unfortunately, and this is sad because people should be able to watch the movies that they want to watch. But because it's business and because of the toxicity of the Weinsteins, it's going to be a long time before that happens. So that sucks. But then again, if I had the money, I wouldn't buy it because I want to get my money back. And that's that pretty much.